Hello, friends, and welcome to another episode of TV is a Real Mom. I'm Dave,
I'm Katie.
and you are listening to our weekly Alone podcast, in which we share our thoughts on the latest episode of Alone. Alone is a newish show on the History Channel, and it's about surviving in isolation. Um, what'd you think of this episode, Katie?
I thought it was good. I was convinced you knew someone was going to tap by the end, but I was convinced it could have been literally anyone that they were showing. I thought maybe they were going to show like two or three taps at once, but turned out to be the one I kind of expected. But still,
Yeah,
yeah, it was. They're all struggling out there, it seems, in one way or another.
Yeah, I thought there were like three in particular, right?
Yeah, I was
That looked
convinced.
like they could tap.
Greg might, Callie might. Well, she seemed like guaranteed that she was going to, but that's not what we saw by the end of the episode.
hmm Yeah, so let's go through the three potential tappers
Yeah.
and talk about what was going on with them. So with Callie, we have she's got spider bites, right? Um,
Ugh, yeah. Bad
on
ones.
on her buttocks,
Yeah. Right there in
and
the buttocks.
right there on the buttocks, and they look pretty gnarly just as
Ugh.
bites, but looks like they were definitely getting infected.
Yeah,
Uh,
the minute they said the word recluse, I would have been like, nope, I'm out. See you later. Done. Bye. And the fact
yeah,
that and she said she had her moment of freaking out, probably off camera, but I can't believe how calm she was about everything and how calmly she went about finding her ointment or her ingredients for her little paste that she made, and just knowing that it could be seeping into her bloodstream and her organs, and she's just all calm as can be about it. I just can't even relate to
yeah,
that level of calmness.
yeah. That's pretty ridiculous, especially considering there's no one around to help. Like she has to make that phone call, and then it's gonna
Mm-hmm.
take even more time for someone to get out there to help her. So like considering all that, yeah, her level of calm is pretty ridiculous.
Yeah, and the fact that she was going to give it a whole other day to give herself time to say goodbye to the place that she was at, and going to wait until the morning, and that just goes to show how invested she is in it, and it makes me feel so bad for her because she has a good shot to win, minus the spider bite, So it bums me out that she might have to tap, but that's nature, I guess. Cruel
Yeah,
bitch.
yeah, nature's a bitch. Um, yeah, I was hearing about rumors online that people are saying they think Callie is a plant, like a producer plant. Do you give any credibility to this rumor?
What constitutes a producer plant?
Like they put her in the game. She was placed there by the producers, and they're actually like helping her survive longer, so that we can get to see her make like cool arts and crafts and stuff. And
That is garbage, and I don't know who came up with that and what it's founded on. And were people saying the same thing about Michael last year, or is it just because this is a female that they don't believe she can be doing all this?
yeah, to be honest, I honestly think it's like chauvinist online Reddit chauvinists that like don't can't fathom that a girl could do that well in survival situations, which is ridiculous. I mean, come on.
That's really upsetting to me because, if it were a guy, I don't think you'd see the same kind of arguments. I mean, she lives off the grid in her real life. She knows how to do it, and she has the right mindset. And that's more important, I think, than anything else. Mike last year didn't have the right mindset because he missed Barbara too much. People like Dan don't have the right mindset as much as they tell themselves they do. It's just she has a combination of skills that allow her to thrive in any kind of situation like this. And I think that is absolute horseshit. And those people should at least provide their sources,
Yeah,
instead
yeah.
of just making shit like that up.
Yeah, for me that's the problem with this talk is like, like where is your proof that like where are you getting this idea that like where's your producer, where's your showrunner that let something slip? And I just don't see how this has any real credibility. I
Teeth.
think,
No.
yeah, it's just it to me. Yeah, it sounds like dudes who can't believe a girl could do that well. Which once again, I mean, like, how can you not like? How can you? What year is it? Like
I don't
what's
know.
going on?
She is a human person, and human people are capable of the same things and different things, and she's capable of thriving. This is her element. So, and it sucks that she got bit in the butt by a spider because I don't want her to leave because
Yeah.
she's it's really admirable what she's doing. So,
Mhm.
those people can suck it and suck it good.
Yeah, I guess the doubt arises with like she doesn't seem to be having any struggles with food. So I mean, maybe that's where some people are like, "Oh, well, like how is she so much better fed than everyone else? We never get to actually see her catching fish, really." So I guess that's like where maybe their doubt starts to like a little bit come from, but at the same time, I mean,
Yeah, but
they don't have she's got other
there's so
stuff going on. They don't have to
yeah,
show
there's so much
her.
more interesting stuff to show with her that they're not going to just show her struggles with food. She's clearly getting by fine. So,
Yeah, and we also covered that
I mean,
she is probably eating a lot more vegetation than everyone else. Granted,
yeah.
that's a lower calorie intake. You have to eat a ton of veggie stuff to
Hmm.
even come close to like 100 calories. So it's like really hard to get calories from that stuff. But every little bit helps, and I guess it helps you feel full too. So yeah, that's got to be
Yeah.
part of the deal. So
Just show her eating some food next week to shut up the haters. Jeez.
yeah, maybe we'll get that next week. But also, I mean, yeah, these spider bites. She's talking about how her glands in her groin are swollen now, which
Yeah, that's
means
not good.
which means the infection is moving inward. And yeah, I don't see how it's gonna clear up on its own. I guess it's possible. I don't know how this stuff works, but
Yeah, again, this is where I'm not really big on the editing this season. Like you go from showing someone who looks to be in need of medical attention and who's literally saying goodbye to the island and they don't show her tap. And from the previews for next week, it doesn't even look like she's in them unless they just show her at the beginning and show her tap and whatever. So either they're just going to drag this out and not show us until a couple weeks from now, or, she'll miraculously recover. Her pace will suddenly start working. I don't know. What do you think?
I think we've had a couple seasons, a couple people where they tapped at the beginning of the episode, and it usually
Like Jose?
yeah, I think Jose is an example. Yeah, it usually happens when they have been set up in the previous episode to be going home in the next episode, and it usually happens like early on in the episode. I think
Yeah.
it's tough to say between Callie, who has the infection that's spreading, and Greg, who looks like he's probably got hypothermia.
Oh,
Um,
right. Yeah.
but both of these are things that you can't really bounce back from. So I feel like we're being set up for like both of their taps in this coming episode,
Yeah. That's a
uh,
bummer. Those are
which
two of
really
my
sucks.
favorites, man.
Yeah. Yeah. So let's talk about what happened to Greg a little bit. Um, so I guess he was really struggling with getting firewood.
Hmm.
And so yeah, because he didn't have a lot of firewood near his campsite. So he was
Right.
having to walk long distances to collect firewood. And ultimately he decides it's going to be best for him to just move camp so he's right next to the firewood so he doesn't have to waste all his energy. And
Yeah, I was
uh
shocked when I heard that. Like, isn't moving camp like quite an endeavor?
yeah, but
And he's
so
just like,
is
oh, I'm gonna move camp.
I didn't think it was a bad idea in and of itself. It was the fact that he decided, oh, I can't wait any longer. I'm gonna do it in the middle of the rain. It's like
Yeah.
that was just dumb. I'm sorry.
Yeah,
And
not smart. Yeah.
and he said that it was a poor decision because what was it? Because he was starving or something? Is that what he said?
I don't know what he said because he falls in the lake to get that fish, and then he starts to get cold. But was that after he moved the camp or before?
Maybe it
Because
was
that clearly
before.
affected his mindset. But you also hear, like on Survivor, you always hear them talking about towards the end, everything's so fuzzy because they're so hungry and tired and you just don't think clearly. So, I mean, obviously, they've already gone longer than Survivor on this show.
And eaten
You
less
have a
and worked
similar
more.
eaten less, I would imagine.
Well, maybe not worked more
So,
because Survivor, you have all those challenges and stuff. But
yeah, but it's burst.
yeah, yeah,
Whereas here, they're just constantly.
constantly working. Yeah, yeah. It's I can't
Mm-hmm.
remember what he said. If he said like, oh, the hypothermia made me make poor decisions, or if he said the hunger, he said something like that, and I can't remember. But uh, yeah. So he says he was just in a bad state of mind and made a poor decision to move in the rain, and yeah. Now, basically, his the river. What they're on like a lake, right? Or he's on a lake.
It looks like he's by a lake. Yeah.
Yeah, so this lake has like a tide effect to it somehow.
Oh, right.
I've never
The
heard
lake
of
that he moved
this.
to.
Yeah, yeah. And so he made this poor decision to put his fire like way too close to the shoreline, and now the
Mm.
lake is like moving up to his campsite. So he's probably gonna have to move camp again, and he's
If he
and
can
he's
even
hypothermic.
move his limb.
Yeah, that's right. He can't even feel his legs.
Yeah, I was kind of shocked when at how bad a state he was in. Like I knew falling in the lake would be bad, but I didn't realize it was um that it could cause that level of hypothermia. So yeah, he and Callie are probably both gone. That
Yeah,
sucks.
I guess his yeah, that lake is just so cold and it's so tough to get dry and get warm that
Mhm.
yeah, it doesn't take long for that hypothermia to set in. So yeah, I don't see how Greg can bounce back from this or Callie. I give more likability of probability of
Likelihood.
likelihood probability, not likability. That's like if she's likable. I give more probability to Callie bouncing back than Greg, honestly.
Really? Those
Yeah.
nasty spider bites.
Yeah, I just feel like your immune
At least she's got a remedy going, trying.
yeah, your immune system can kick in and fight stuff off, but with hypothermia it's just like it's a slippery slope and it's all the way down. You know, he
Yeah.
doesn't really turn around if you can't get warm, and I don't see how he's going to get warm. Um, I hope I'm wrong on
Go
both.
find that sunbeam that Fowler found.
Yeah, talk to Fowler. He knows
Just a
about the
little bit of
sunbeams.
sunshine.
We didn't get any Fowler this episode.
No, I think that's a good sign.
Could be, and yeah, I feel like they left Fowler out because they were giving us Dan's tap story. You know,
As much of a story as it was just Dan pouting and missing home.
yeah. So what ultimately
Dan
happens?
turned out to be such a bust. He's just a bust. We were
Yeah,
right last week when we said that he was just kind of it was his attitude. Like he was trying to convince himself that he was going about things the right way, but there was such a negative like aggression behind it that I feel like that was just his mindset. And the minute he started thinking about home, what did it take? 2 seconds after thinking about his family that he was like, okay, I'm done. Bye.
yeah. What did he make again? He made like, did he just make a fish? What was he?
Fish. And then he
He was
told a
eating.
story about his mom. And
Yeah, it was like the way he cooked the fish or something, and he's like, "This
yeah.
reminds me of my how my mom used to make it." And then didn't take much longer than that. He's like, "I quit." So,
Yeah. I
uh,
miss my mom.
I miss my
Goodbye.
mom. I quit. Uh,
Yeah, geez. So if if we lose Greg and Callie next week, we're down to 4 people. And that's Megan, Carly, Fowler, and Dave. Dave, who we've barely seen. Megan, we haven't seen in 2 weeks. Carly's not holding up well. And then you have Fowler.
what's
That's
happening?
crazy.
What's happening with Carly again?
She isn't a great fisherwoman, it would appear.
Oh
She's
yeah,
struggling to get food. But she did
yeah,
get one. right? She did get
Yeah,
one.
she got one, but yeah, she's struggling with the food. That's right. Did she
Yeah,
talk
but
about
everybody is.
tapping at all? Like, I can't remember if.
I don't think she specifically mentioned it, no, but she had a bit of a breakdown when she lost that fish on her line.
Mhm.
So I don't think she's quite the skilled fisherman that some of the other people are. Like she made those baskets, and that's cool. A lot of people did that, but I don't know. When it gets colder, I don't know how you can catch fish with a basket.
Well, these basket there's these basket traps that people make where the fish
Yeah,
they can swim in one hole but then they can't swim out for some reason. It's like it's
that's right.
science.
Yeah.
But yeah, maybe she made some of those. I don't know.
It looked like she did.
Yeah. So yeah, good point. We got if Callie and Greg tap, we don't have too many people left, and a couple of those characters are people we haven't seen, much of. So does that make sense? Like, oh, they're saving all their story for when they're the only ones left in the game for like 4 or 5, 6 more episodes, So
I don't know. It's weird with Dave. They just show these snippets of him, Like every episode seems to feature like a Dave moment, but they
yeah.
never really go back to him. It's just like one moment.
Yeah, doesn't that seem like that he probably has he goes pretty far then, don't you think?
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, if we're going to talk winners edit, and I think these alone editors don't hold a candle to the Survivor editors, but who would you say was getting a winner's edit at this point?
Oh, well, I thought Callie was because I mean she was
Yeah, me
doing so
too.
well.
That's what I
But
would
I
have
mean
said.
somebody who's doing well in the game, like making all kinds of stuff, like not struggling that much, that they don't all that doesn't always mean they're the winner. Um
No, but like think
so
about Dave and Jose and and Larry. You got so much story with them by the end, So much, and maybe they were just more eloquent people, spent more time talking to the camera. Fowler does a
mhm.
good job of talking to the camera.
Yep.
But
Yeah,
I
maybe
mean,
that is all there is to it. That Dave just doesn't talk to the camera very much. I don't know.
and when he does, he looks like a crazy person.
Yeah.
Too much of it.
Yeah. I don't know. I guess Dave is getting a winner's edit. I feel like in this episode, Greg and Carly both have winner edit type things going on. Like if Greg somehow manages to bounce back from the hypothermia, he's got a winner's edit going on because
Oh
they're
yeah.
really driving home the thing. Like I gotta win this for my daughter. I need this money. Like
Hmm.
I gotta win. A lot of talk about that, and the same thing with Carly in this episode. She talks a lot about like why she wants to be the winner. I forget what she
First
said.
female winner. She wants to be the first female winner.
Yeah. So
Um,
you got her talk about her goals and wanting to win,
mhm.
and that's winner edit type stuff, right?
True. Yeah, that's true.
Yes, and then
And
Fowler.
once they get down to four, they'll spend a lot more time with those four people. So
Yeah, and yeah, Fowler too with his them juxtaposing him with Dan, and Dan is ultimately the one who
taps.
you could say he had the wrong strategy in this case. So like Fowler comes out looking better, so maybe that's sort of a winner's edit in a way.
And his whole episode where he was looking for the sun. Fowler.
Yeah. Yeah, that's winners edit type stuff. So yeah, Fowler looks pretty good. Carly looks pretty good with that speech, and Greg, I think Greg has winners edit potential too. It's just like with everything going
How
on
do
with
you
him,
recover from hypothermia?
I just don't see how he's gonna get there, get all the way to
Yeah.
the win. He's so far
It's gonna
behind.
be tough. That guy just has struggled from day one, it seems like.
Yeah, and
Oh well.
he's already looking real skinny, like he's hurting.
His like whole face, other than his eyeballs, is covered with hair. Like that man is a hairy man. Like he's got hair up to here.
Maybe he
His whole face is a beard.
Maybe he's the Sasquatch that like
Maybe
everyone's
he'll
talking
turn
about.
into one if he
And
doesn't
then he
free like.
He'll turn into
freeze to death.
a Sasquatch and then time travel back. And yeah, he's this.
This is where the myth begins.
This is where the myth begins, right here on Alone. So
He gets eventually covered in hair and just gets lost in the bush and then just goes out squatching around.
squatching. Yeah. Yeah, I have no idea what I'm talking about. I'm sorry. Okay, so yeah, we talked about pretty much covered Dan, why he left. We talked about Greg, struggling with hypothermia. We talked about Catie and her spider bites. What are we missing here, Catie? What else happened?
Well, we just got one scene with Dave, and again, it started out with him like laughing and maniacally, or what was he doing? I don't remember.
He was talking. He was talking about his camera, and he was losing it a little bit. Yeah, he's talking about.
I think he had partially lost it before he got there.
Yeah, he's talking about his camera in such a way that he was saying something like, "Wouldn't it be cool if I could set up a camera and film myself doing stuff?" And like the camera is right there running, filming him. And then he starts talking to it. He's like, "You're my Wilson." Like,
oh yeah,
basically saying,
that's what it was.
It was like a Castaway reference, right? Like he's like, I don't have anyone to talk to but this camera. So I think he's really struggling with
the loneliness part of it.
Yeah, he's struggling with the isolation thing. He needs somebody to talk to. It's really really starting to get to him, and that would lend credibility to your theory that he doesn't talk to the camera a lot. Because if all these other people are doing so much better with the isolation part of it, maybe it's because they're talking to the camera. They feel like they're carrying on that dialogue that keeps people sane.
Well, yeah, didn't he say that if I didn't have this camera to talk to, I probably would have lost it a while ago?
Yeah, I think
he said something like that. It makes you feel like you're talking to someone, and you are. It's just going to be delayed. A few months.
Right.
But yeah, he's going around the bend. He's taking a little trip around the bend, I think.
Yeah, he so much so that he decides to eat some fish sperm. So I guess.
Well, he ate fish eggs in the last one. Maybe a little fish baby will be created in his stomach.
Oh my God! Yeah, that's gonna happen.
Sorry.
No.
I'm sure those fish eggs had been taken care of long before he ate the fish sperm.
That'd be friggin' awesome though if Dave spawns fish babies, and then
he wouldn't be alone anymore.
Yeah, those are his little friends, or the little fish babies.
My fish babies. Oh geez.
Dave wins because he doesn't feel lonely.
Oh my God. Yeah, if anyone could do it, Dave could.
Yeah, I could see it. And then it turns out it was all in his head.
Yeah, they show footage of him talking to these fish babies that aren't there.
Yeah, exactly. They pull him from
and they're sitting in his extra chair that he built.
He's like, "Don't forget my fish babies."
Yeah. And they're like, "Oh God, we're never gonna be able to do this show again."
Yeah. Oh man, I hope we sell a lot
I kind of wish they'd show him more, because his oncoming crazy is entertaining.
Yeah, so. He's a little bit loony, and maybe that's why they're not showing him more, is because it's borderline scary.
They don't want to scare people. Yeah, maybe.
Yeah, they don't. You can't go too far with that stuff.
Yeah, well, you don't want to feel like you're making light of someone who's maybe really going crazy.
Yeah, that too. Yeah, that's true. Yeah, Catie gets a lot in this episode. She makes sock soup. That was sort of
keep
funny.
Your socks clean.
Kind of funny, I guess. Yeah, I thought it was interesting how things just seem to work out for Catie. Another reason people maybe think she's a plant, I guess, because she is talking about how she hasn't seen this. There's this particular herb she needs to cure the spider bites, and she hasn't seen it the entire time she's out there. And the day she needs it, she finds it. I don't think that is.
Maybe she wasn't looking for it. for.
Yeah, I don't think that's anything to do with producer plants or anything like that. I think it's
A
just
literal producer plant.
yeah, yeah, there you go.
Plantain.
Yeah. I just think it's part of Catie and the way she interacts with her environment is just like
Mhm.
the her beliefs really work for her. Like the universe provides thing. It's like
Mhm.
it's kind of remarkable how well it works for her. So
Yeah,
um
this whole theory that Callie's a plant does not take into account like the idea of editing a television show. Like you can't show her whole search for plantains, and you can't show her food when she's doing all this other cool stuff. So, what's all that nonsense?
yeah. Well, the footage is out there, so if anyone really
Right.
wants to see it, they can probably track it down.
Mm-hmm.
So, anyways, yeah, she makes a guitar
Oh
like
yeah, that was amazing.
there was a guy, was that season 1 or 2 the guy makes guitar?
Must have been season 1 because I don't recall.
Yeah, it was season 1. A guy makes guitar and he writes funny little songs. Not like funny, like well written funny, like he's losing his mind funny
Like
and
how we
singing.
just sing stuff sometimes.
Yeah, like yeah, like I do, where I just sing
Yeah,
random stuff. Yep,
yeah.
that's kind of what he did, and he
Mhm.
tapped shortly after making the guitar.
Because he lost his mind.
Yeah, um, Callie though, yeah, that's a pretty sweet guitar she made. I
Yeah, it
like
was
it.
all right. Yeah,
Yeah,
it was
not
good.
too bad. But I fear that she's going to tap now because the guitar is a curse.
Maybe it's like, well, I thought the sweat lodge was, but it wasn't. So maybe it's the guitar that's the curse.
Yes, maybe it is. Um, I don't know.
I
Do
think
you?
the only other person was Carly, and they didn't show her a lot. They just showed her struggle to fish, and eventually she got one. And
She talked about her divorce and her dad. That's
her
another
dad,
reason.
or her parents' divorce.
Yeah, her parents divorced, but she focused more on her relationship with her father,
Right.
which is another reason that she's got Winner's Edit going because we're getting like a story for her. And why build this story?
Mm-hmm.
The only other reason might be like, oh, she's gonna tap because of her issues or something. I don't know, but
Nah, I don't think she's
I
gonna do
feel like they're
that.
building a story for her. So
That's good because she doesn't really have one yet. It looks like her roof is holding up, so that's good. It's about the extent of her story so far.
yeah,
But
yeah, for sure. Well, I think that's all I got for notes. Do you have anything else you want to throw in on this episode?
no, I hope Callie and Greg are okay, but I'd be okay losing one of them, but to lose both of them right together at the start of an episode, that's gonna hurt if that's how it goes down. So
Yeah, I don't know. The point you made about the 4 that would be left after next week's episode makes me think that one of those 2 has to come out okay.
because Megan, we haven't heard from, they haven't shown her in
Megan?
weeks.
Yeah.
Yeah. Do you remember her?
Not much. They not only haven't shown her in a while, she didn't really have much to begin with. Like,
Going on before
yeah.
that. Yeah. The last we saw her, she caught a fish.
Yeah, she caught a fish.
Okay, that's like everybody's story.
Yeah, and she's doing well apparently. She's still out there.
We don't know. She could have hypothermia too, for all we know.
That's a good point. She could have hypothermia and spider bites.
Oh man, she better
She,
tap
she
then.
better tap. Yeah.
I mean, unless she does something interesting. I'd rather the more interesting people hang around, like Carly. No, I mean Carly's okay, but Callie, Greg, and Fowler, and Dave. But
Yeah. Yep.
can't all hang around. Someone's got to win.
Someone's got to win. But yeah, we'll see next week. Anything in the previews that you remember? I'm not really remembering too much.
Yeah, it looks like they're gonna be hunting game next week. Like Carly's going after a deer. Someone's going after a boar.
Yeah.
So we might get some action on that front next
Someone
week.
had like a
But
bow
they
and
didn't show
arrow.
Callie. Yeah, I don't know who that was.
Was that Dave?
Dave?
I think Dave might have had
I
a
can
bow
see
and arrow.
him.
Greg had a bow and
Yeah,
arrow. I know for a fact
he's
Greg had a bow and arrow.
hypothermia-ing.
Yeah, maybe he bounces back then.
Have to watch the preview again.
Yeah.
We'll see.
Any sort of predictions we're gonna make here?
Well, we've already kind of predicted that Catie or Greg or both will be gone by next episode. So,
Do you want to place your bets
on which of those two, or
Yeah.
both of those two,
Yeah,
or none of those two?
or none of those two? Yeah.
I'm gonna say Catie bounces back because they made such a show of her saying goodbye, and then they didn't resolve it. So I feel like, maybe she'll. I don't know. That's just me talking.
Yeah, I agree.
With hope.
I think Catie bounces back and Greg taps next week.
Okay. Yeah, that sounds reasonable.
Word. All right. Well, we will pick this up again next week for episode 7. It is airing. It airs like every week, right? Do they skip
As far as I know, I've never watched it like while it's airing, so I don't know.
Same here.
But
I don't know.
We'll find out.
So as far as we know, there's an episode this weekend. If so, we will podcast next weekend. Thank you for listening, and we're working on getting the podcast on iTunes if that's an easier way for anyone to listen to this. I've submitted the podcast to iTunes. I don't know how long it takes for them to actually like approve it, but just filling you guys in on that option. So thanks for listening, you guys, and we'll see you next time.